Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. You're watching the 9 at Night. I'm Stephania Jimenez. Tonight, we're starting with the story of a 15-year-old who was killed this weekend just around the corner from his home. His name is Ted Johnson Jr. He was a freshman at Brennan High School. He was found shot just after midnight Sunday morning in a neighborhood right across from Bernal Middle School. Garrett Berger talked with neighbors about how it happened.
A makeshift memorial with candles and flowers is sprung up in the 500 block of Lucrezia, in the same place where 15-year-old Ted Johnson Jr. fell early Sunday morning.
It's beautiful that people care about him, and dropping stuff off for him.
Johnson's family, who didn't want to appear on camera, said he played football at Brennan and liked video games. Rocco Esquivel was a friend from middle school who came by the memorial Tuesday afternoon.
Just say hi to him,
A sad visit, devoid of the friendly conversations he remembered.
I don't think he deserved what happened to him.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office has released few details about the case, only that the teen was found unresponsive on the sidewalk, shot multiple times. He was pronounced dead at University Hospital an hour later.
Neighbors told us about hearing those fatal shots, but they did not want to appear on camera.
One of them had thought someone was banging at his door. When he and his wife looked out and saw Johnson's body and a gun on the ground, they called 911. He told us he didn't see anyone else nearby or hear the screech of tires. Another neighbor who heard the shots said they didn't hear a vehicle either. A third neighbor told us he had video, which he did not show us, of Johnson being dropped off about 2 hours beforehand, then later walking in the direction where he ended up being shot. It did not, however, capture the shooting. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
15 years old, wow. Another man was sent to the hospital after he was shot multiple times. This happened around 9:30 last night. San Antonio police responded to a wounded person on Southwest 36th Street. Police say the victim was driving on Highway 90 when someone in a red sports car pulled up next to him and fired 5 shots, hitting both of his arms. Now, the victim pulled over. He was taken to University Hospital, but police have not yet arrested anybody in this case. In other news now, a family is thanking smoke detectors for keeping them alive when their home caught fire. San Antonio firefighters say that when they arrived at that home at 4 this morning, 2 adults and 1 child were caught inside. This happened at Valewood View near Bandera Road. The family tried to put out the fire using their own extinguisher, but then the extinguisher ran out.
Crews reported smoke on the front side, flames on the back side. They initially started to extinguish it with their own extinguisher, but they ran out with that.
They're super lucky that family is safe. Crews did rescue several pets. Fire investigators think the fire was started by a heater near the back of the home that was being used to keep the family's pets warm. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. Now, unfortunately, the next fire, this one that we'll tell you about, left 5 people homeless. This one was on the city's south side in the 12,800 block of Applewhite Road near South Zarzamora Street. Fire crews got the call around 2:30. Firefighters say the fire started on the back porch and then spread to the mobile home. All 5 people and 2 dogs who were in there got out. Firefighters know where the fire started, but they just don't know how at this point. And now the people who were there, the 5 adults and the 2 pets, they're now staying with family. And we're going to take things outside right now. It was a beautiful day today, as you know. Hope that you enjoyed it. Meteorologist Adam Caskey walks us through tomorrow.
The wind has died down. That's nice. You're not going to notice it overnight. And tomorrow morning, we'll have a little bit of brief fog at 50 degrees, but another warm afternoon, sunny and 82. A south wind at 10 to 15, gusting to 20 at times. But the wind's really going to pick up on Thursday, and that's behind a strong cold front. Thursday afternoon, only 59 the high. Friday, 56. Saturday, barely even hitting 60. And by the way, a light freeze Friday morning and Saturday morning. So keep the jackets within reach.
So this is really an incredible number. Now more than 41,000 people are dead from the 7.8 magnitude earthquake in Syria and Turkey. Officials there estimate that 105,000 people have been freed from collapse sites across the country of Turkey. 1.2 million people are now staying in emergency shelters, and authorities say that at least 6 million people are homeless or displaced. 6 million. And things look even worse in Syria. That country, which has already been crippled by war, is desperate.
Half of the population faces hunger. And that's the worst that we've seen since the beginning of the crisis in Syria.
Now, the Syrian conflict makes it difficult for food pantries to go in there and replenish supplies and get stuff to the people who need it. Syria's president agreed to open 2 border crossings from Turkey to allow deliveries for food, shelter, and support that the country hopes is going to last them for another 3 months. Now, back here at home, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton joined leaders across more than a dozen other states in sending letters to CVS and Walgreens about their decision to ask the FDA about mailing abortion pills. The pharmacies recently announced that they are supporting the Biden administration's plan to do that, which puts them at odds with state laws that banned abortion. Now, in a letter to CVS from the Missouri Supreme Court, they wrote, quote, "We emphasize that it is our responsibility as state attorneys general to uphold the law and protect the health, safety, and well-being of women and unborn children in our states," end quote. The rising interest rate causing a big issue for the Treasury Department. The department paid a record $213 billion in interest payments on the national debt in the fourth quarter last year. The rate has gone up 4.5 percentage points in just the last 12 months. But some experts say that by 2032, the federal government is going to have to pay $3 billion a day on interest. And that's totally separate from a separate issue, which is inflation. Consumer prices have actually gone down. But here's the thing. Inflation still edged higher for the month. The Labor Department did release some data today saying the inflation rate increased by 0.5% since December. And that is likely because of things like food, gas, even insurance, which is getting more expensive. Efforts by the federal government to ease inflation is yet to be seen or reflected in our economy, and experts are warning that inflation will continue to go up.
We're just not seeing the cracking in the economy that people had anticipated at this stage, and I think it remains to be seen when that will show up.
Remains to be seen, but there are a few bright spots. Prices for used cars, medical care, and airline tickets, those are all down. Now, tonight we are learning who's going to be on Axiom Space's next private astronaut mission to the International Space Station. NASA and its partners announcing that former NASA astronaut Peggy Whitson is going to command the flight. Then there's John Schaffner, a businessman from Knoxville, Tennessee. He's going to serve as pilot. And then there's Ali Al-Qarni and Reina Barnawi, who are from Saudi Arabia. They're going to be mission specialists. The crew is going to travel to the International Space Station on a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. Now, before we go, yes, it's Valentine's Day. And on this holiday, we often think about, showing love to others. But, don't forget about self-love. It can be hard, but when you tune in to what you need to better your body and mind, you can share that confidence with the people around you. So just give yourself a break, some grace, spoil yourself, exercise. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, just remember, life is messy.
It's normal and human to experience ups and downs. There's nothing deeply flawed or broken in you. You're just like everyone else.
Yeah, and if there's something in your life that feels draining or makes you feel discouraged, set healthy boundaries. And when you do, the children in your life are going to learn to appreciate and love themselves as well. So it's a good thing just to lead by example there. So before we go from us to you, we hope that you have an awesome Valentine's Day. We're out of time right now. The 9 at Night returns tomorrow. Have a beautiful, lovely night. We'll see you.